I spent all of last year talking to the leading experts in the app industry and have live streamed hours of great chats on this channel. These experts shared some of the most actionable tips that you can implement right now to make more money with your apps. You won't find tips like these anywhere else, like this unconventional approach to onboarding from Jacob.
Think about like what type of product you have. If you have a more functional product, you don't always need an onboarding. People just kind of want to get to the value.
That was just one of the many amazing conversations I had last year. So I spent over 20 hours rewatching every interview, analyzing every insight, and pulled out the best tips to help you grow your apps in 2025. One of which takes less than 5 minutes to set up and helped lots of apps make a lot more money. It's so simple, you'd wish you used it sooner, and that's coming later in the video. But the next tip comes from Hannah, and what she shared will change how you think about activating a user.
Everything we can do to impact activation is everything up until the point of activation and everything that happens before that. So that means your ads impact activation. It means that custom product page impacts activation. It means your onboarding. It means your push notifications, your homepage, everything. Zoom out. What is the area that you can impact with the least effort first? I have launched ads that have had between a 50% day 30 retention and a different ad, just different messaging, having a 10% day 30 retention. Equally, I've worked with another app, and the thing that impacted activation the most was adding one screen, which just said, how long do you want to commit to this for? Like 30 days or how many weeks? And then just pressing a big button that said, I'm committed. So we added that in there, and that doubled day 30 retention. It's just experimenting. So I can't tell you what's the one that's going to have the biggest impact, but I can tell you the number of experiments that you have will be directly correlated to the success that you have.
Not thinking about activation this way can be the difference between not making any money and making lots of money. We'll get back to activation in a few moments because it's super important. But the next one is a tip I should probably play on repeat because it's so important.
I would use every tactic that exists to drive people to annual plans for shorter lifecycle subscription products. The main tactics that do exist is like pricing them correctly. Pricing tests come in here. If you don't have the capacity to run pricing tests, I would just make a change and monitor it. Using longer trial periods for the annual plan, calling out like the savings clearly on the pages. We ran a really interesting test at Code Academy, which was kind of like an eye movement test. So like people's eyes anchor on the cheaper price first. So I think we ran like the more expensive monthly rate, which was the monthly plan, on the right, because they saw the cheaper annual plan on the left. And it sounds like a really stupid little thing, but it boosted annual plan sales by like 11%.
See, this is how subscription apps keep the revenue consistent and lower churn. And if you're making money with subscription, you know churn is your biggest enemy. Learned something new so far? I do live streams like the ones I pull these tips from every month, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and you'll never miss an opportunity to grow your downloads and your revenue. This next tip wasn't intuitive at all for me, but it's proven to increase revenue by as much as 20%. You have to try this.
Let's say you have 3 products on Paywall A and 1 product on Paywall B. On Paywall B, with only 1 product, you'll get less overall conversions, but more conversions towards that 1 product. What that means is you have a chance to throw your highest LTV product there and make the most money, even though it's lower conversions overall. On the other hand, if you have 3 products, there's a price for everybody, right? No matter what your demand is. So your conversion rates are higher, but there are less people choosing your highest LTV product. What I love to do, you show a paywall with 1 product on it, and if the user taps the X button, show them the options. This way, you get the best of both worlds. No matter what, you're going to show everyone the 3 options, but also no matter what, people are going to consider buying your highest LTV product first. I don't know the specific numbers, but historically, I would bet that between 10 and 20% of conversions would come from the second paywall.
I love this tip because it's a simple way to introduce another offer at the perfect time to get a conversion without giving a discount. It's a total win. Now, let's get back to activation, which is what you have to focus on to get users to pay you. Here's Hannah with more wisdom.
If I'm thinking about what I can do to impact my activation, what we're doing up front is talking to customers. This is stage 1, psychology conversations. These are not product interviews where we're like, what do you think of the app? We're asking, what were you doing when you thought about it? How would you describe it? You know, what that was going through your mind? How did expectations meet reality? We're trying to understand context, and we're also trying to understand their language so that we can start to put the way in which they are articulating your product into our ads. The next things are how are we bringing people in and making sure that those are some of the right people that we're bringing in. So that could be through communities, through Facebook groups, Reddit channels, things like this that can be really effective. But we'd also be looking at, how's our product page converting? Are we getting the right people through from our ads? All of this stuff that can impact activation. Then we're going to prioritize them. Whenever we're thinking about an effort and impact score, we're doing 1 to 5 for effort and 5 to 1 for impact.
Okay.
And so if it's high impact and low effort, you will do 5 times 5 and you'll get 25. And you
Okay.
can think of the ones that score 25 as your low hanging fruit. And then you're going to start to find some which are high impact but high effort. And what we do not want to do is go and start building some complicated product feature based on a hypothesis that we jotted down on a post-it note. We want to then break it down into something that we can validate, do it in a really unscalable manual way first, see how it's working, and then start building that kind of thing into your product.
Your conversions will go through the roof after following that. But before you start making changes, here's the tip I teased with earlier and the one you should go implement right now. I mean, after watching this video.
No payments now. This is like magic text that just kind of works. This is one of those things, like, it's actually a trick that usually always does something great. It's hard for people to really register that a free week means they don't have to pay. So I don't know why saying no payment now, it's so awesome.
That was a really quick one, so you may want to watch it again, but really, that's all there is to it. Add that text to your paywall and you'll make more money. Amazing. Remember who told you about this. All of this advice will help you make a lot more money in 2025, but there's more you can do to grow, just like the top apps. It is now absolutely important to use a combination of App Store optimization and paid ads to see a real difference in downloads. I've looked at a lot of data, and that's what it suggests. On the App Store, Apple made search ads pretty easy to set up, but there's a catch. If you set up your campaign the wrong way, it'll burn your money with minimal to no results. Don't let that happen. Instead, watch this video to learn exactly how I set up a search ads campaign the right way so you can get the most downloads with any budget.